It's draft season once again, and the draft is up and coming. So why not put out my mock draft for the first round? The first round is where all the hoopla is and all the excitement. So I'll just do the first round this year. I also analyzed a few players from different positions. I didn't do every player in the draft, but I did as many as I could, and I put the analysis of the players and what I thought, from my personal opinion, watching their game film. Um, so let me start off by also just saying that um, this mock draft in the first round has no trades in it. It's if everybody that's in the position that they're in now remain there. So I didn't guess any trades. I'm just guessing if these guys stay at the position that they're in right now, this is who I believe they'll pick. So start number one, everybody probably thinks the first two picks are easy to figure out, because everybody knows they're taking quarterbacks. Most people have the Titans taking Goff, but in my opinion, I believe that the Rams will take the quarterback out of North Dakota State, Carson Wentz, with the first overall pick. I just believe he's a better fit for for Coach Fisher and the Rams. He's the type of quarterback that is mobile. He has the size. He's the type of guy that I think could run Coach Fisher's system very well. And basically, he doesn't even have to win with his arm because the team will be built around Todd Gurley, who could be the next Adrian Peterson. So having Gurley, that'll help make Wentz's transition to the pros a lot easier. And I mean, let me tell you, I'm not high on Wentz and Goff as the best quarterbacks in this draft, but it this could work for the Rams due to their situation. So I got them taking Carson Wentz. At number two, with Wentz being off the board, I think the Eagles will take Jared Goff out of California. The Eagles will have their quarterback now to prepare behind Sam Bradford, or he may have to start immediately since Bradford is calling for a trade. Now, as I said before, I'm not high on Goff, but the Eagles will have to make this work since they gave up so much to move up to number two to get their quarterback. Number three, the San Diego Chargers. The Chargers will have the pick of the litter basically at number three with the first two picks going to quarterbacks. But I can't see them passing on a diverse athlete like a Jalen Ramsey. They will still need to address the D line and the O line, but that can be addressed in the rest of the draft. Now, Ramsey is a special kind of player, in my opinion, that will make this defense better immediately. They can use him to replace Weddle. I mean, they can use him in a lot of versatile roles on their defense. He can help against the run, he can cover. So I think that the Chargers will pull the trigger on Jalen Ramsey. At number four, the Cowboys. Now, with the Chargers taking Ramsey, I think the Cowboys will take the next best player on their board. And the guy I think they really like out of Ohio State is not Joey Bosa, but running back Ezekiel Elliott. The Cowboys can address the DN position in the second round, but Elliott can do it all from the running back position and will add another threat for the defenses to think about, besides Romo, Dez, and Witten, and Terrence Williams and those other guys. I mean, behind that potent offensive line, Elliott could have a great rookie season. Look for him maybe to be rookie of the year, offensive rookie player of the year, behind that O line in Dallas. The Jaguars at number five, regardless of all the speculation on the knee, the Jaguars, in my opinion, will take Miles Jack. Miles Jack could easily be, in my opinion, the best player in this draft, but the injury has caused a lot of concern for his long-term future. But looking at him recently working out, that the videotapes that his agent sent, and I know it's his agent, but I think it will be enough to make the Jaguars pull the trigger. This guy will be a major playmaker on any up and coming Jacksonville defense, or basically on an up and coming Jacksonville defense. He is the type of player that could be the missing piece that solidifies this defense for a long, long time. Hopefully, if that knee can hold up. Number six, I got the Ravens. Now, with Tunsil still on the board, the Ravens might not be able to pass on getting some long-term protection for their franchise quarterback. Tunsil will help a much maligned O-line that struggled to keep Flacco vertical in most of the games last year. There was a lot of sacks on Flacco, and the Ravens just always seem to have like a great player fall into their lap in the draft. So it wouldn't surprise me to have Tunsil be able to be drafted by the Ravens. Um, at number seven, we have the 49ers. The 49ers are not moving Colin Kaepernick, I don't believe. I believe he will be their quarterback, and they'll work it out with that Chip Kelly system. I think he fits Chip Kelly's system a lot better. And I think in order to really help Kaepernick, why not bring in Ronnie Stanley that can anchor that O line? He has the athletic ability to play in Chip Kelly's system, to pull if he has to. He's good in the passing game, and I think he'll get even better at the run game. Now, in my opinion, Tunsil is hands down the best lineman in this draft, but I think a better fit for Chip Kelly's system is Ronnie Stanley. Now, at number 8, the Cleveland Browns, from the pick that they traded with Philadelphia, which Philadelphia actually got from Miami originally. The Cleveland Browns, who I basically never thought they were going to take a quarterback at number 2, even before they traded back the pick at number 8. I believe they see RG3 as an answer at quarterback. And in saying that, I think they'll look to surround Griffin with a little bit of more talent. With all kinds of question marks remaining on Josh Gordon, I think the Browns can't pass up on Laquan Treadwell. He's another Dez Bryant in my opinion. The Browns are the only team in the division really without a big time receiver, with the Ravens having Steve Smith, the Bengals with AJ Green. I think that it would be a smart move for them to snatch up Treadwell, and of course we know Antonio Brown up there in Pittsburgh. And I think Treadwell will really help the comeback of RG3. Now, number 9, Tampa Bay. The Bucks need help on their D line. It would be great to add another presence on the line with Gerald McCoy, who's just a flat out beast, I believe. But so drafting Joey Bosa with the 9th pick could be a steal for the Bucks. Bosa will help the pass rush as well as against the run. He's good against the run, and he can generate some pressure coming off that left side, I believe. Playing against Cam Newton, Drew Brees, and Matt Ryan twice a year, bolstering their pass rush will be very important for the Bucks. Number 10, the Giants. The Giants have they basically rode their front 7 to 4 Super Bowls in their franchise history. So even though they re-signed JPP, they also signed Olivier Vernon from the Dolphins and also Damon Harrison from the Jets. But the Giants will add DeForest Buckner with the 10th pick in the draft, in my opinion. Coach Spags, he likes to have a lot of depth to keep a steady rotation going up front, and this pick will give him that ability to do that and supply a lot of pressure. And that'll also help alleviate a lot of other issues, especially with the offense and also their secondary. Now, the Bears need help in a lot of areas. I mean, but definitely on their D line. So I see them adding a pass rusher at number 11 with Shaq Lawson from Clemson. They will then look to address their secondary in the second round. At number 12, we got the Saints. Now, the Saints really need to go all defense on the first 3 picks, but it would be smart to start up front with a pass rusher. And why not go Clemson again with Kevin Dodd to bring some pressure off the edge? Number 13, we got the Dolphins. That's the pick they got from Philly. The Dolphins need to find a replacement for running back Lamar Miller, like ASAP. But that could be addressed later in the draft because there's plenty decent running backs that they can pick up to bring in this draft. But I think with the 13th pick, that might be a little too high for what's left on the board. And I think they'll need to shore up their secondary by picking up Vernon Hargreaves, the cover corner from University of Florida. Some feel it is the best cover corner in this draft. The Raiders now at 14. The Raiders, I mean, for years now, they've struggled to bring in or find an inside linebacker to anchor this defense. And I think that will change this year with the 14th pick of the draft as they select a hard-hitting linebacker from Alabama and Reggie Ragland. The Titans at 15 that they got from the Rams as the Rams moved up to 1. Now, the Titans, everybody thought before that they'd be taking Laremy Tunsil with the first pick, but they can still cover themselves by drafting Jack Conklin from Michigan State. They'll pick up the extra draft picks from the Rams and still get help on their O-line to protect Mariota and also open up holes for DeMarco Murray, who they picked up in free agency. The Lions pick at number 16. The Lions will draft Sheldon Rankins to help their D-line and their pass rush. The Lions also need help on the O-line, but with 10 picks in the draft, they should be able to address their many needs later on. The Falcons pick at 17. Now, the Falcons need help on the D-line, but also need help at linebacker. That is why I have them picking Leonard Floyd, who has the speed and physicality to play for Coach Quinn. He can drop back in coverage and he can also play the run. 18. The Colts. The Colts need help on the right side of their O-line, but they need major help on defense with a pass rusher, linebacker, or safety. With what is left on the board, I see the Colts taking Carl Joseph out of West Virginia. This will add a solid player in their secondary, and they can still address the other positions in the rest of the draft. Moving on to the Bills at pick number 19. Now, with Rex Ryan needing a serious edge rusher that he definitely covets in his system, I think Rex and the Bills will put the off-field issues to the side, and they'll probably draft Noah Spence, who in my opinion is the best pure pass rusher in this draft. Number 20, the Jets. The Jets could pull the trigger on a quarterback like a Paxton Lynch, but I think they'll work out a deal with Fitzpatrick. I don't see them passing up a guy like Taylor Decker to help buy some more time for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he can get the ball to those great receivers that they have there in New York. Moving on to number 21, the Redskins. The Redskins added a big piece to their secondary in scooping up Josh Norman, but in my opinion, they're still weak up front. They'll probably draft an Emmanuel Okpa to add some pass rush to help Kerrigan get to the quarterback. And it'll be necessary to cut some of the cover time off of Josh Norman that he didn't have to cover as long with Carolina with that great front seven. The Redskins will need to bolster that front seven, and it'll help up their back end as well. Now, number 22, we have the Houston Texans. Now, the Texans, I think, have had one of the best free agencies. I mean, they snagged their quarterback and they got their running back. Now, why not add another receiver to help their young quarterback? The Texans will probably draft Will Fuller, the wide receiver from Notre Dame, which will be a great addition. They already have Tompkins there playing receiver, so that'll be a huge help for the young Osweiler. 23, the Vikings. The Vikings need receiver help badly. And with Stefon Diggs being the slot threat that he is, why not complement him with a big physical receiver like a Michael Thomas out of Ohio State? Number 24, we have the Bengals. The Bengals lost both Marvin Jones and Mohamed Sanu to free agency, so they will need to add a receiver. I think they will not pass on a dynamic player like a Braxton Miller, who moved from quarterback to wide receiver. I think his ceiling is very high, his potential is very high, and he'll be a great receiver to put on the other side. You could probably even play him out of the slot with a great receiver on the outside like AJ Green. At 25, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're basically in a rebuilding mode on their defense, but really, especially in their secondary. And because of that, I think they'll draft cornerback William Jackson out of Houston, which would be a great addition to start that rebuilding process in their secondary. The Seahawks, they'll probably go O-line, but I think taking the best player available could lead them to draft linebacker Darren Lee out of Ohio State, which will be a good addition to their linebacker core. I think he's a type of player that they like to have there in Seattle. The Green Bay Packers, they need another big body, in my opinion, to replace B.J. Raji in the middle of that 3-4 defense, especially to stop the run game in the NFC North. So why not draft nose tackle Jarran Reed out of Alabama? The Chiefs will add a wideout to complement Jeremy Maclin, like a Corey Coleman out of Baylor. I think Coleman will be a great addition to take some pressure off of Maclin, and the Chiefs have been trying to bolster their passing game up to be able to stretch the field a little bit, and with those guys, they'll be a definite upgrade. The Cardinals, they basically need a lot of help in their secondary. To put another corner on the other side of Peterson would be great, and why not go with Baylor's corner Xavier Howard? Now we come down to the Carolina Panthers. We all know they lost Josh Norman to free agency, or didn't lose him, but they let him walk. They couldn't come up with a contract deal. So I think adding a cornerback like a Eli Apple out of Ohio State will be a great start for them. They already have the great front seven, and I don't think they need to have a dynamic corner, but I think Eli Apple has a lot of potential, and he could play well in that Panther system. Now, last but not least, in the first round of the draft, we have the Super Bowl champions, the Denver Broncos, and we all know their quarterback situation, and I believe that Paxton Lynch will be the answer at number 31 for the Denver Broncos. Now, leave your comments below. You can follow us on Twitter at iImagesMedia. and let us know what you think.